to come. Hold it in the sun. Don't know what you got till it's gone. Hold it in the sun. All of the best yet to come. Throwing open all the curtains wide. Not gonna miss a thing. Nothing's promised to you in this life, but it's there for us to take. So live well before we break.
Room. I'm Nancy. It is 3:03 in the afternoon, and it's the last day of the year. Okay. It's hard to fathom. This year's going by so fast. Well, I had my last physical therapy so far this morning. I go back to the doctor Tuesday, find out what he says. The physical therapist says my shoulder is still out of dislocated. It's still dislocated. Excuse me. He had to actually pop it today because I couldn't hardly move it this morning. And the rotator cuff is still not healed, and it's causing pain up through here and down through this part of my arm right here. So we'll see what the doctor says Tuesday. So, okay. Good Lord willing, my husband should be home for supper tonight. Oh, I would be so happy to hear that. Especially, I'm sorry, there was, he had to deliver in Kansas City, about 10 hours ago. So about 5:30 this morning he had to deliver. And then they had a bomb threat at the Kansas City airport, and Kansas City was kind of on lockdown for a little bit. Because from what I understand, they had like 3 different bomb threats in 3 different airports in the United States today. So I was concerned. I knew my husband had driven all night, so I didn't try to call him, all in a panic because of the bomb threat. I didn't know how close to the airport he was or anything like that. So I just waited till I heard from him, and he messaged me and he said, finally got my truck fixed, and I've got 1 more hour of my 10-hour break, and then I'll be headed that way. So, yay! Excuse me. So today we're going to talk about the case that was all over the internet yesterday, but I was out of town. And I spelled her name wrong. The Camila Olmos. I got an itch back here. I can't reach. Hold on. Do you hate when that happens? My dog's got a snake this afternoon. It was about this long, about this big around, and it had long orange stripes all the way down its back. I think they said it was a corn snake or rat snake or something. I don't know what it was, but the dog's got it. CJ killed it and threw it over the fence. Okay, so back to Camila Olmos. Um, I spelled her name wrong. So Grok said, based on my search, I couldn't find a notable information or public figures specifically named Camila Olmos. However, given a similar spelling, you might be referring to Camila Mendoza Olmos, a 19-year-old San Antonio, Texas, from San Antonio, Texas, who has been the subject of widespread news coverage due to her recent disappearance. This is her. She's a beautiful young lady. Camila Cami Mendoza Olmos vanished on Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2025, after leaving her home in the 11,000 block of Capspain Springs around 7 a.m. for what her mother described as one of her regular morning walks. She was last seen wearing gray pajama shorts and a black hoodie, and some surveillance video captured her departure. Authorities noted the disappearance as highly unusual because she left her phone behind, and there are concerns related to her mental health. Dashcam footage from a driver later shows her walking along Wild Horse Parkway about 2 blocks from her home. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office, along with the FBI, family, friends, and volunteers, conducted extensive searches in the area. Her father, Alfonso Mendoza, publicly expressed doubt about some circulating videos not depicting her and urged her to come home. Friends described her as cautious with good intuition, emphasizing that vanishing like this was out of character. As of December 31st, a body was discovered during the search on December 30th, just a few hundred yards from her residence at a landscaping company property. Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar stated he strongly believes the remains belong to Camila based on matching clothing description, though official identification by the medical examiner is still pending. Family and friends have begun mourning while awaiting confirmation. If this isn't the person you meant, or if you have more details, e.g. a location or context, provide them for a more targeted search. Okay. Because I'd been hearing Camila. Not really hearing, but I get messages on my phone when something happens on YouTube that's in true crime, and when something happens on Court TV or some of those sites like that. So, and Nancy Grace yesterday did a thing. I think she did a thing about her, but she did a thing about some girl. I am so sorry. I guess yesterday just wore me out. Okay. So next we're going to go. This is Camila Olmos' father says the video being circulated is not his daughter. So let's see what this has to say. Let's give it a thumbs up. Bring it to full screen. And
you were at the press conference yesterday with the sheriff. There is new dash cam video. Tell me your thoughts on that.
Oh, it ain't her. She's a thin young lady, 110. You know, weighing 110, and that video looks like the dash cam. Looks like a heavier person, at least 120. I'm a runner. Always ran my life, years, 7 miles a day. It's not her. You can tell the person running, good at it. He has shorts. I'll see that foot camera. The camera, that ain't her.
Now,
It ain't her, not at all.
what are you hearing from detectives and things like that?
Oh, they're on the case. They're putting all. I told them, please go all hands down on it, please. It's alive. It's alive. We're talking about a life. It's not a game. It's alive. My daughter, and time's going by, and it hurts more.
Absolutely. We're day 6, Alfonso.
6 day. It's agony. Pain. It's hard.
No, it's very
Break
hard.
down. Break.
I know. But you
Break.
got people coming in and out. I mean, we got people from Houston. This is
Yes.
worldwide. This is getting a lot of
Worldwide.
attention, Alfonso. I mean, all eyes are on your daughter right now.
Yes. I'm real thankful. Yeah. All the support, people, the Tim Miller Association, that's what I said, and the global search, they're here too. Everybody, and makes that's what stands, in my faith. First thing, I couldn't do anything without God first. With always God's first. I know He decides His hands. We're on His hands, on God. I always put God first, and all the help. You would see it here.
So today, what are we doing? We're getting organized, correct?
We're getting organized. Yeah, the rescue teams are here. You see that one here, Global Search. And then I heard there's another one coming from Houston. So the spots they haven't checked, or they're going to go. They still start spending. If we did 3 6 miles span, or knock doors, or as a community to be up front, please. It's devastating,
I know,
for me.
yeah.
Like a father, I know they watching this interview. You guys got kids or fathers. Never wish that. Nobody. Never experienced it. Don't wish that on nobody. Wouldn't like to be in this situation.
No.
Heart's broken. Like I said it plenty of times, still broken, but I'm faith in God. That's the one that keeps me up.
Yeah, and it's day 6, and I can see the emotion wearing on you each day. I know we know how you're doing, but how are you getting through this right now?
My faith in God, like I told you, my faith in God, prayers for my family. We're Christians, Catholics, all religions. I had a call this morning from my cousin from Virginia named Peter Gisar. He has his own church in Virginia. We were out there praying this morning. And prayers, words of prayers from Mexico, here, all over. And everybody knows me, all over, family, everywhere. Said LA, Vegas, California, Chicago, Mexico, like I'm family like that, Northern California. They all call me, and I don't get their calls. Just, I don't got the time. This is more important. I know that this is support, but just keep on praying. If I'm at an answer, it's not that no one got the time. This is my priority, my focus, number one priority, my daughter. And the FBI, there's a message to them, like a father, please help me out. Go deep on it. I know you guys could do it. Bring her home. Because sorry I'm breaking down, but it hurts. That's why I asked the FBI, our secret federal investigation, help me out. Please, get all hands on deck.
I know,
So,
Alfonso, there's literally no leads in this case. I mean, that one footage we have from the neighbor with the ring camera footage, do you believe that's her, that outside her
she's
car?
No, couldn't be her. I know her. She's a thin lady. It ain't her. I'm a thin person, runner. I'm thin, thin. I'm thin. My jacket, it's cold out here, but it just, I'm a thin guy. She was a thin, like.
So both
Oh.
footages that we have, you don't believe either one of her is her. That's your daughter. You would know, right?
I wouldn't know because, maybe she wouldn't. Because I don't look like, it's not a good picture.
Right. And then there's not a lot of surveillance video or anything that captured really a good, clear picture that it could be her. This is all possibilities that it could be her.
There's a possibility, but I haven't seen it. It don't look, and I know she's my baby girl. I always got her clothes when she was little. She never put baggy clothes. And, that looks like a heavy person. I said she never wear baggy stuff. She fitted or when she started at 14, she started buying all clothes. I gave her money. Would give her 200. We'll go to the mall, whatever she wanted. Would grab her. I'll pick my own clothes. I'm making a pick.
And I know you and her mother are divorced.
Yes.
Is it how is that going on with you two and dealing with the disappearance of your daughter?
Regarding, excuse me,
Yeah, how is she doing? Your ex-wife, the
I'm
mother.
pretty sure we haven't had that much contact. I know she's hurting like me too. She's the mother. I'm hurting, but I'm hurting too. My heart's broken. I'm hurting.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. She's a mother. She's the one who gave her the birth. I know she's hurting. We're all hurting, and there's a lot of pain. It's hurting. What keeps me, my faith in God, and all the support. Like I said, plenty of time. So grateful. All the things here, all the support nationwide. I'm getting prayers. The people I don't know. Thank you. Thank you. I want to find her and keep on praying for me. The prayers is keeping me standing. Not I couldn't do. The prayers and the faith in God.
What is your message to your daughter?
My message, I love you, Camila. Come home to daddy. Like he's always said, I'm your daddy, daddy's home. Like I want you to come home. He always said, daddy's home. And I want to say, Camila, come home to daddy. Come home. He always said the song Daddy's Home. And when I come for her, Daddy's home. I want to say, Camila, come home to daddy. That's our song. That's our song, Come home to daddy.
Thank you, Alfonso, for talking to us. We appreciate it. Absolutely. Yeah.
Smart founders know something most people miss. Get your
Okay, that's what her dad had to say. He didn't really believe that the pictures that apparently they had dash cams and ring cams and things like that, and those people apparently they didn't. He didn't think that was his daughter. So here are a couple of friends. It says interview friends of Camila Olmos speaks on her disappearance on day 6. Okay, we're going to give it the thumbs up. We're going to give it the bump up. And then this is from the same news.
First name and last name.
My name is Aitana Ponce.
And how do you spell your first name and your last name?
AITANAPONCE.
Amazing. And then same thing for you.
I'm Amanda Saldana, AMANDA SALDANA.
Great. So tell me a little bit about what we're doing out here. Tell me a little bit about, this is day 3 in the search?
Day 5.
Day 5. So what do we know so far?
Nothing much. I mean, we know that she went to her car in the morning, but that's really it. We just know, it's not like her. I don't think she's ever done this since we were kids. We grew up with her since we were little. She went to elementary with her, and all of our moms are family friends. So we just never, known her to be like that.
Same thing for you.
Yeah, she's always been probably the most cautious out of all of us, always had great intuition. So it's not like her to leave. And we don't know. We have no clue what happened.
When you first heard the news about her disappearance, what ran through your head?
That they were going to find her right away. I thought that she just went on a walk or something. I didn't think that she went anywhere. Like I know my dad was the one that told me. So I was like, no, Cammy, I'll just call her real fast. But they were like, no, she left without her phone. Like they've been looking for her since Christmas Eve.
When was the last time you guys heard from her?
The last time I saw her was Thanksgiving. My family went out of town for Christmas, so we didn't really, we were in Cali when we heard, and I expected her to be back, in a couple hours, but when they put out the report, we couldn't even, enjoy the holidays. We're just so worried about her and her family.
So what kind of person is Cammy? You said she's a very cautious person.
Very cautious, very sweet. She was a great person. So, she is a great person.
I know this is kind of making you guys upset, and that's not what I intend to do, but what makes it so emotional for you right now?
Just that, we grew up with her, since we were babies, there was millions of times where I know she lives down the street from her, so we always had sleepovers in Amanda's house, and we walked her home so many times, we would walk through that same street that we walked every single day. And I just think it's crazy how the one time she went by herself, she didn't come back. There were so many times where we all wanted to, like just make, or I wanted, like we always walked together. We always wanted her to sleep over, so we didn't all three walk by ourselves. But I don't know. I mean, there was no way that she just left, especially at such, for like Hispanics at least, it's such an important holiday, Christmas Eve. So I don't know. I just don't think she would have left for any reason on her own.
Always had her phone, right?
Yeah, she always had her phone. She was a very big music person. She loved music. So if she went on a walk, I feel like she would have taken her phone for music at least, even if she didn't use it, even if she wasn't on it. But she was, out of all three of us growing up, the most paranoid. Every time that she wanted to go home, she made us take her. She made sure that we all three walked each other. So when we walked back, it was us two walking back by ourselves after we walked her home. Um, if we didn't want to take her for whatever reason, we made sure that she stayed over so she didn't walk by herself, even if it was a few houses down, just to be safe. I mean, she always kept her mom updated if she needed to. She always had her location on. She always, I don't know, she's always been cautious. She's never been reckless, or she's never gone out and, like gone crazy, like drunk or like partied or done anything like that. She's never been like that since we were little.
Mm-hmm. The same thing for you. The emotions are really high right now. Tell me how you're feeling.
Honestly, just kind of in shock. I mean, we can't really believe that this is happening or that it's gone on so long. We just want her back.
Absolutely. If she's watching this and sees anything like this happening, what's the message that you want to get out to her?
Just come home.
Yeah, I mean, no one's, we just want you back no matter what. Like, if you don't want us to question you, we won't. Like, I don't know. If anyone knows where she is, just bring her home. You don't have to say anything. You can just drop her off anywhere. You could just make sure that she's safe and she's good. I don't know. I want Cammy home.
Thank you, ladies. Now, where's the search happening today? I know that we're here. Is there anywhere else? Is everyone just kind of scattered, right?
Yeah, everyone's a little bit scattered. I know that we're kind of searching through Government Canyon a little bit, which is more by like Sotomayor High School and stuff. But I mean, it's really been everywhere. I mean, I think right now everyone's just kind of grasping at straws, every little place that they can go, every little place that we can think of. Because I mean, there's no way that there's nothing, like there has to be something, especially like in this year, 2025, there's no way that no one knows anything.
That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ring camera footage, like everyone has it. It has to be something. There has to be something.
Yeah.
Have you heard any leads yet? Anything?
No. I mean,
No.
Not really. Everything's just a guess.
Everything's just speculation, just kind of trying to make up our minds about, like, honestly, I'd rather her have ran away. I'd rather her have just wanted to leave than anything else.
But regardless, I mean, we really don't believe she would have left, but even if she had thoughts about it, she wouldn't do it like this.
She's 19. She didn't have to disappear. She could have just took her car. She could have just done something else completely different.
Leaving with nothing, I mean, that just makes no sense.
I know. Thank you, ladies, so much for talking to us. Clearly got some really good friends, so really nice to meet you guys, and I wish the best outcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great day.
This is the quickest way to go from AI.
So that was from her friend. I was going to post something earlier. Okay. That's the same story that we heard before. Okay. But it wouldn't. I saw it on my screen and I put it up on in my crossbar across the top of my screen on my open windows. And then when I went back to it, it was just a blank screen. So I don't know. I don't even remember what it was. So I'm going to skip over that one. And we'll go to Court TV. They were doing a countdown today. So we're going to give Court TV a thumbs up. As always, they do such wonderful work over there. I was actually yesterday sitting in court and illegally, I was there legally because I was the designated driver for a friend of mine who isn't, she broke her leg and she's not cleared to drive yet. And so I was driving her and I went to the courthouse and I put my camera on my cell phone on record, like I was going to record a video, and I just stood it up there in my purse and I recorded the audio only of the court proceedings. It was just a 4-minute thing. It was, they wanted a plea deal, and as the defendant, we chose not to take the plea deal. So they're the ones they're fighting. They did wrong. We were not in the wrong. So we didn't want to accept what they wanted for a plea deal. So we're going to go to trial in 30 days. Well, 29 now. So it'll be around the 30th, 29th through 30th of January, unless, you know, what we find out. I forget, the plaintiff and the defense. Okay, the plaintiff is us. We're the plaintiff side. If she and the other 3 females involved in this choose not to go to court, then we won't have trial. He'll take the plea and everything will be, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to actually go to court. But I can't go in there and I can't record it because A, the courts wouldn't like it, and B, some of the plaintiffs are underage and they couldn't be video recorded anyway. And see, I don't have her parents' permission. It's not something that needs to be broadcast anyway. It's not one of those kinds of stories. But our prayers go out to her and her family. So, okay, now more about Camila. I don't know. Okay, yeah. So we're going to listen to Court TV.
Some huge developments in the case of missing Texas teen Camila Olmos. She vanished on Christmas Eve.
Look here. This is body and GUN. So I don't know. I don't think Camila did that herself.
We know that a body and a gun were found on Tuesday. She was last seen leaving her home in the early eve of Christmas morning. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office in Texas says that they found a body that they have not identified yet, a few hundred yards away from where Camila Olmos lived.
Found the body in a field nearby here. At this point, it's too early to tell if the body that we found is that. At this point,
I apologize. The background noise is on the program. It's not here. You can see I silenced it. So, yeah, I don't know what is going on. He's probably too close to a high-powered generator or something.
we don't suspect foul play. As you all know.
Okay, let me back it up and I'm going to try to read it since we can't see it.
A few hundred yards away from where Camila Olmos lived.
Found the body in a field nearby.
Okay, we found the body in a field nearby here. At this point, it's too early to tell.
At this point, it's too early to tell.
If the body we found was that of Camila Olmos.
The body that we found is that of Camila.
At this point, we don't suspect foul play.
We don't suspect suspect felt like, as you all know.
I assume, as you all know, one of the possibilities we've been working under was fear of self-harm. Her friend said she didn't seem like that kind of a person.
One of the possibilities that we were working under was fear of self-harm. And at this point, there are some indicators that the body that we found may be as a result of that. Oh, wow. Indicators that the body that we found may be as a result of that.
The sheriff added that the clothes on the body matched the description of what Olmos was wearing the last time that she was seen. Now, during the search, authorities released this video from a driver that shows somebody resembling the teenager around 7 a.m. on the morning that she left her home. Let's talk about this. Let's bring in law enforcement expert and trial consultant Sonny Slaughter and retired NYPD detective and the co-host of the Gold Shield Show, Tom Smith. Good morning to you both. Not the news we were hoping to get. Sonny, your reaction to this news of a body being found, no confirmation that it's her, but an indication from the sheriff's office that there was no foul play involved.
Attention retirees, if you're willing to be at your computer from 9 a.m. to 10:45 a.m.
Good morning, Julie. Good morning, Tom. Great to be on with both of you. It is difficult to hear this news. And yesterday I was just talking about this, but I always said that the police know more than they were sharing, and the fact that there was a weapon found near this body indicates that she took the weapon with her from somewhere. So I think they already knew that. I would be shocked if this is not Camila, and it's sad news, but we have a resolution potentially if this is her, but we still don't have answers as to why. So this is a sad but sobering moment for all of us when it comes to what people are going through that we don't recognize when they're right in front of us. People are having very hard times, regardless of their age. And if this is her, it is heartbreaking. It is astonishing, but hopefully her family has some closure as to where she is if this is her.
Yes, Sonny. The sheriff's office talked a little bit about the firearm they found nearby. Let's take a listen to what was said.
I can't tell you that we found a firearm very near the body. And in this particular case, we're actually looking for a firearm.
Okay, it says, I can tell you that we found a firearm near the body. In this particular case, we were actually looking for a firearm as well that had become missing. Sounds like he's making up the story as they go along, because why did nobody else say anything about her going for a normal walk carrying a firearm?
It was a family member's firearm.
Tom, I'll go to you.
Okay, he said it was a family member's firearm.
When this, Sonny made the comment, and she's right, law enforcement always holds back some things for good reason. That was one of those details that we're just learning at Court TV. We didn't know this initially when she disappeared, that a firearm had gone missing from the home. Had we known that, I wonder if our analysis maybe would have been a little different yesterday. Who knows? Your reaction, Tom, to this news, please.
Yeah, it's just sad. You know, like Sonny stated, you know, we did a show on this yesterday, and this is why you leave all the options open of what could have happened to this young lady. And unfortunately, this is the outcome. The other part of this is going to be interesting of whose firearm was it? Where was it locked up? Why did this 19-year-old have such an easy access to it? So that's going to be additional questions that are going to come out of this, unfortunately. But that has to be addressed. And, you know, like Sonny said, you hope maybe something comes out of this of warning signs that other parents can pick up on, red flags of their own children that maybe be going through something like this, that they can aid themselves so something like this doesn't happen in their families.
Right. You're right, Tom. It's a tough thing to, wrestle with when you're a family member and someone dies by suicide. If that is the case here, we don't know, no confirmation yet officially, but the facts certainly seem that way. And as you said, the next conversation is going to be about the weapon that was used. We know that it was known that she was experiencing suicidal ideations. We know that. That was something that...
Wow, that's news to me. Did anybody else know about that? See, not being home, I couldn't go right on YouTube and see the stories as they were popping up on my screen. I had to just try to mentally remember to check them out when I got home last night. And sorry, I fell asleep. I was exhausted.
The sheriff's office knew. We reported that initially. The sheriff said, and I'm quoting here,
Camila might have been experiencing some self-harm ideations, saying it appeared she was a young person going through a very tough time in her life. That is so sad.
Might have been experiencing some suicidal ideation, saying that she was, quote, a young person going through a very tough time in her life.
We tend to think that our spirit is in our body. That's actually not correct. Your body is in your spirit.
Sonny, back to the point you just made about we never know what another person is going through. It's tough for all of us getting through this life, especially young people. I think there are different pressures nowadays than there were when all of us, were growing up. Talk to me a little bit, please, about precautions that need to be taken in a home where there are firearms present, if there's someone experiencing mental health difficulties.
As a mother of four and someone who raised their children around firearms, with firearms, and it is really important for families to secure their weapons. I have several locks that I have given away to others. My own children, they have their own way. They're adults now on bio mechanisms to lock their firearms. And when a person, whether it's a child or anyone in the household or anyone coming to your home, if you have firearms, it is really, really important to lock those down, keep those away, and not let people have access to them, even visitors. You don't want people going through your things. And if a child is having a hard time in your care, that is even more of a reason to ensure that they do not have access to them, that they do not know where they are, that you, if you can, move them to a different location, move them out of the house. But we are seeing more and more suicides these days of young people, of adults. It is critical, as Tom was saying, that we recognize these red flags. This is a horrible situation. The police held back that there was a firearm, but that is the reason why they were using the language imminent danger. While I thought that this could be attached to human trafficking, because there is actually a lot of trafficking, human trafficking in that area, but the imminent danger, the language that was being used clearly showed that there was a threat beyond what we could see, and this is what we are seeing. Firearms are deadly, they are dangerous, but just as other weapons, knives, people are really going through a lot these days, and young people often have no way to express those things other than somebody recognizing them and taking them to get care.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Sonny, agreed. Tom, let me go to you on that fact we talked about yesterday when we were having the conversation about whether or not this could have been a trafficking situation. And we talked about how weird it seemed that she took her driver's license with her. And one of our other analysts on the show had made the comment about, if somebody was going to commit suicide, why would they feel the need to take their license? that stood out to him as being odd. Tom, looking now at the facts we have, tell us what you think about her taking that with her.
You know, this is a really sad part, but she had a conscious thought of her being identified, and that's all it was. It was to make sure that they knew it was her, and her parents or family members know it was her. There wasn't a mystery of a body.
Okay, they're talking like she's the one that did it. Now, I would want the autopsy to show me the ballistics on the hands, show me the gunpowder on the hands, the residue or whatever, the back spray that shows that her hand was in contact with that weapon when it was discharged. Even if it was in her hand, I'd want to see the ballistics report on the skin.
Being found, and that was a conscious thought of what she was about to do and making sure her family knew it was her.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, Tom. Oh, this is so heartbreaking. Our hearts go out to the Olmos family. This beautiful young lady had so much life ahead of her. If it is her, we're going to report that again. The sheriff's office not giving a confirmation, but all signs seem to point to a very grim outcome here.
Okay, now we're going to go to police off the cuff. And I've never heard of him. Oops, I'm sorry, pushed the wrong button. I've never heard of him, but he looks to be retired, and I don't think he's going to give us any hockey hawk. I think he's going to just tell us the way it is. From what he knows, okay?
Everyone, breaking news in regards to the Camila Olmos case. And unfortunately, it seems like it's not very good news, the type of news that we would wanted to believe. Reportedly, the sheriff's office has recovered a body in the vicinity of where Camila went missing. And however, they have recovered a body in this case, and it is feared that...
I have a question. If she was only a few hundred yards away from her home when she was found, and they think that it was self-inflicted by pew-pew, why didn't her family hear the pew-pew? Why didn't any of the neighbors hear it? Why did it take them 5 days to find her? The math ain't mathin'. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a skeptic, but the math ain't mathin'. I do not think it was self-inflicted. If her family didn't hear it, I think it happened somewhere else and she was brought back. If that's her. That's my opinion, and I'm entitled. You're entitled to your opinion. I could be wrong. I'm not going to put clickbait on my screen because I don't know.
This body could be one and the same as the missing person case, Camila Olmos. This is from News Nation reporting on it.
In Texas, as authorities in Bexar County tonight report a body has been found, but an ID has not been made at this time. That is important to mention. Now, this news comes as authorities there have been searching for 19-year-old Camila Mendoza Olmos. She disappeared nearly a week ago after leaving her home in San Antonio for a walk on Christmas Eve morning. Authorities say the body was found this afternoon in a field near the teenager's home. Again, no confirmation yet. However, The body found is that of Camila Olmos. Authorities say they do not currently suspect homicide, that the scene is being processed just as a precaution. Instead, they say indicators suggest the death is possibly due to self-harm. They add a firearm was recovered on the scene. It belonged to a relative and had previously been reported missing. But again, the ID of the body found in Bexar County has not been confirmed as of yet. We will continue to follow. This also comes as authorities say they have found a second teenage girl. She went missing last night. 14-year-old.
So, folks, again, to update in this case, they have found the body. It's too early to confirm that it is, in fact, Camila Olmos. However, one of the things is that it was said early on in this investigation that there was the potential that Camila was depressed and was, in fact, suicidal. So to recap, she was last seen leaving her family home on the morning of December 24th in northwest Bexar County, Texas. And here's a good picture of her.
Too quiet. Turn your sound from 100% to 600% with Sound Pusher. Just hit Add to Chrome.
Surveillance dash cam footage shows someone believed to be her walking away from the area around 6:58 to 7 a.m. that day. And she left without her phone. This is one of the things that was really concerning to her family and anyone that has ever investigated these type of cases. She left without her phone and only had her car key and possibly her driver's license. Her vehicle remained at her house. She might have walked off on her own, according to investigators, based on the dash cam video, but authorities have not confirmed that she ran away intentionally. Now, of course, everyone was very concerned in this case because immediately people were jumping to, is this an abduction? Is this foul play? Is this human trafficking? All the things they jumped to conclusions about before any real evidence, possible voluntary disappearance. And there was self-harm risks. She had known struggles with depression. And because of this, law enforcement is actively searching for her, not calling her a runaway, right? So the missing was Camila Olmos, last seen Christmas Eve. Again, we can conjecture early on, was she missing? Was she lost? Was it self-harm that she was involved in? Was she intentionally missing? These are some of the things, some of the questions that people were asking early on. However, everyone was searching for her. Everyone was hopeful that she would be found alive and there'd be a positive conclusion to this case. So there was new footage that was released during the day. A dash cam frame highlight, and the search had expanded. The FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, was involved, but they were very nervous about her welfare in regards to her mental issues, her mental state of mind. Again, did she walk away or was she taken? It seems now, what we know right now, and much too early to totally conjecture, much too early to say that it is 100% her. They must do forensic tests to see if the body that they recovered is in fact Camila. But in any event, not great news. They have found a body in the vicinity where Camila went missing. We'll get more reports from the local news. In fact, the local sheriff will report on this. But I think you can tell by the sheriff's demeanor and the facts and circumstances in regards to this missing that this probably is a very good chance that they have recovered Camila. This is from News 4 San Antonio.
Breaking news tonight, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office confirming a body has been found near an area where authorities have been searching for missing 19-year-old Camila Olmos.
The body found near the Wild Horse subdivision at a landscaping company on the northwest side. News 4 San Antonio's Taylor Warmby joins us live where the sheriff just wrapped up a news conference. Taylor, bring us up to date.
Jonathan Mandy, the sheriff says the body was found close to the home where Camila Olmos lived. Now, the sheriff holding a news conference just after 5:15 tonight. He said it is too early to confirm if the body found is that of Camila Olmos, but he said there were signs that indicate that it could be Camila. The sheriff said there was no foul play suspected in the body that was found, but there was a gun found nearby, and the sheriff said that gun belongs to a family member of Camila's.
One of the possibilities that we were working under was the fear of self-harm. And at this point, there are some indicators that the body that we found may be as a result of that. Obviously the medical examiner will have to make definitive identification.
The body was found near a landscaping business located along FM 1560, which is not far from the family's home. Now, the sheriff says they are waiting on the medical examiner to determine the cause and manner of death, which could take a day or two. We'll keep you posted and follow this as it develops. But reporting live in Taylor Whartonby, back to you.
So, again, all the indicators are there that this is a tragic death, potentially a death caused by self-harm. We don't have all the facts and circumstances. And of course, law enforcement is going to wait to see whether or not this was in fact a suicide. There'll have to be an autopsy. But the fact that they reported early on that she had some mental health issues, that they were afraid of self-harm, and this is before they even found the body, and then that the firearm on the scene belongs to a family member. All of these are indicators that this is not good. Let me put it that way. This is not a good findings. We were hoping that we would find Camila alive, that this would be a happy ending, that she could be returned to her family. So we'll get into this a little more, folks. I just like to remind you, this show is sponsored by FanDuel, the Police Off the Cuff show on the Believe Network. And folks, we're going to give you a little more information on this case as it comes forward. But first of all, hold on to your hats, hold on to your loved ones. You're about to enter true crime from a police perspective. You're about to enter the Off the Cuff zone, the Police Off the Cuff zone.
I feel like we've all been there. You go to
Okay. Okay, I think this is going to be the same press conference we just heard, or maybe the second half of it. I'm not sure. This is Bexar County Sheriff says body found during search for missing Camila Mendoza Olmos. So it might be the same report from earlier.
Latest update on this case. As you know, we've spent the last several days looking for Camila. And the update that we have today is that we just recently, about 4:45, found a body in the field nearby here. At this point, it's too early to tell if the body that we found is that of Camila. But at this point, we don't suspect foul play. As you all know, one of the possibilities that we were working under was the fear of self-harm. And at this point, there are some indicators that the body that we found may be as a result of that. Obviously the medical examiner will have to make definitive identification, and we'll have to provide cause and manner of death. But as of now, we're processing the scene, and we hope to have more information to release as soon as we're able. The area in question is probably about, I'd say, as the crow flies, about a quarter of a mile from here, and probably a few hundred yards from her actual residence. It's an area very, very close to here. This afternoon, it was the folks that found the body it was a joint team comprised of BCSO and FBI. Incidentally, the FBI has been great partners in this investigation. Up to this point, they'd been really helping with intel work and processing digital evidence, but today they actually sent us basically a small army of agents that actually helped with boots on the ground
work. And we actually this afternoon made a conscious decision to go back to an area that had already been checked. But due to tall grass, we felt that there would be a benefit to checking the area once again. And as I mentioned, probably about 10 minutes into that search, the body was found. And again, too early to tell who or a cause and manner, but we do have a body at this point. Esta tarde voy a dar más información tocante este caso que nosotros hemos andado investigando por varios días. Como ustedes saben, hemos andado buscando a Camila. Esta tarde, un equipo de oficiales con mi agencia, pero también agentes federales con el FBI, fueron trabajando juntos. Ellos descubrieron un cuerpo. Ahorita es muy temprano para decir quién es este cuerpo o la manera de fallecer, pero sí se sabe que es un cuerpo. Ahorita no sospechamos homicidio, sino que ahorita estamos tratando de averiguar obviamente quién es esta persona y cómo fallecieron. El área, la escena donde está el cuerpo ahorita está cerca, aproximadamente cuarto de milla de aquí y cerca de la casa donde vivía Camila. Ahorita estamos procesando la escena, estamos esperando al médico forénsico para que nos digan quién es la persona y cómo fallecieron. I'll go ahead and give you a recap. So this afternoon, about 4:45, a joint team comprised of BCSO deputies and FBI agents were conducting an open field search of a field where we had already checked once before, but due to high brush, we made a conscious decision to head back out there and check again. They found what we believe to be a body at this point. It's too early to tell who the body is or cause and manner of death. The medical examiner will be making both of those determinations, but we hope that we can try to expedite that process to be able to get the community answers that everybody's been waiting for. Any questions?
Okay. Next, we're going to go to one crime at a time. I don't think we've ever viewed their information before. This lady doesn't look familiar to me, but that doesn't mean anything because I see a lot of people researching that I don't know who they are. So we're going to give her the thumbs up. We're going to give her the okay. Bullhorn Betty just put up a post. If anybody watches Bullhorn Betty, it says, OMG, we found something. Sebastian Rogers case. I don't know what it is. She's going live now. Okay. You're welcome to jump over there. It's 4:00 Central Standard Time if you're watching this on the recap. So you might have to go back to look up Bullhorn Betty's past if you're watching me on a replay.
Christmas Eve mystery. What happened to this 19-year-old from San Antonio who just walked out of the house in her pajamas and never came back?
A grainy dashcam video captures a figure walking alone on Wild Horse Parkway at 7 a.m. on Christmas Eve. The person moves with purpose, wearing a black North Face sweater with baby blue accents, baby blue shorts, and white shoes. This footage, released just hours ago on December 29th, 2025, may be the last confirmed sighting of 19-year-old Camila Mendoza Olmos. She left her home that morning without her phone, without her belongings, without telling anyone where she was going. And 5 days later, despite hundreds of volunteers searching, despite federal agencies getting involved, despite her family's desperate pleas, Camila has simply vanished. Before we dive deeper into this case, if you're new to One Crime at a Time, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you never miss an update on cases like this one. Now, let's talk about what happened to Camila. Christmas Eve 2025 was supposed to be a day of celebration, of family gathering, of joy and anticipation. For the Mendoza Olmos family living in northwest Bexar County, San Antonio, Texas, it became the beginning of their worst nightmare. Picture this, a quiet residential neighborhood in the 11,000 block of Caspian Spring. The sun is just beginning to rise, casting long shadows across driveways and manicured lawns. Most families are still asleep, dreaming of presents under the tree and holiday meals to come. But at 6:58 in the morning, security cameras outside the Mendoza Olmos home capture something that would later send chills down investigators' spines. Camila, a petite young woman, just 5'4" and 110 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes, appears on her own surveillance footage. She's wearing that distinctive black North Face sweater with baby blue accents, those baby blue shorts and white shoes. She's not rushing, not panicking, just moving with what appears to be deliberate purpose toward her car parked in the driveway. Think about that for a moment. It's nearly 7 in the morning on Christmas Eve. Where could a 19-year-old possibly need to go at that hour? The footage shows her searching through her car, looking for something. What was she looking for? We don't know. But here's what makes this even stranger. After searching her vehicle, Camila doesn't get in and drive away. Instead, according to investigators who have studied every second of that footage, she leaves the residence on foot. Her car stays right there in the driveway. Her phone, the device that practically every teenager and young adult treats as an extension of their body, stays inside the house. All of her belongings remain untouched in her room. The only thing she apparently took with her was her car key. Why would someone take a car key but leave on foot? Now this is where that dashcam video I mentioned at the beginning becomes absolutely crucial. Released today during a news conference held by Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar. This footage gives us a potential trail. The video allegedly shows Camila walking alone around 7 in the morning on December 24th. The figure in the footage appears to be on Wild Horse Parkway, moving steadily, alone, with no one following her, no one beside her. Sheriff Salazar told reporters and the gathered media that this video came from a citizen who came forward after seeing news coverage of Camila's disappearance.
Video that somebody from the neighborhood here was on their way to work about 7 a.m., about same time, and saw what they believed may have been her on a dash cam. This person had a dash cam operating in their vehicle. They shared that video with us. And again, at present, I'm not able to say with 100% certainty that this is the young lady in the picture, but it does certainly have the clothing description on this pedestrian certainly does match up with what she was wearing at the time. And so, we're sharing that information, that video with you all in hopes that somebody may have collected similar video. Up to this point, really, this was the best direction of flight that we were able to develop.
This person was driving through the area that morning, and their dashcam happened to capture what might be Camila's last known movements. But let's rewind a bit and talk about who Camila is, because she's not just a missing person case number. She's a daughter, a sister, a young woman who had just turned 19 years old. She had her whole life stretching out before her, full of possibilities and dreams and potential. Her mother, Rosario Olmos, spoke to reporters with the kind of anguish that only a mother experiencing the unthinkable can convey. She said, and I want you to really hear these words.
Knowing that, she was gone and her phone was still there, it was just very unusual. And that's why we genuinely have no clue what to think.
Imagine that. The day that should be filled with joy and family and celebration has become the day your child disappeared without a trace. The response from Camila's extended family shows you just how loved she is. Some family members drove 17 hours from California to Texas. 17 hours in a car, barely stopping, racing against time and hope, just to join the search efforts. And they weren't alone. More than 100 volunteers from the community, people who may have never even met Camila, showed up to search neighborhoods, knock on doors, distribute flyers, and comb through the areas where she might have walked. That's the power of a community coming together, and it speaks volumes about the impact this case has had. But here's where this case takes some concerning turns. And I need to be sensitive here because we're talking about real mental health struggles that real people face every single day. According to Sheriff Salazar, Camila has a history of suicidal ideation. This is important information that investigators have to consider when trying to understand why someone might leave home early in the morning without their phone or belongings. When law enforcement classifies a missing person case as imminent danger, which they did with Camila's case, it means they believe the person could be in immediate risk of harm. Sheriff Salazar explained that imminent danger could mean anything from self-harm all the way through kidnapping, and he emphasized that all of those possibilities exist in this investigation. However, and this is where family perspectives sometimes differ from official statements, Camila's father has stated that she had no history of depression or mental health struggles.
That she might have said her goodbyes to you a day prior.
Oh, she came in and said and told me she loves me, but that was usual for me. She was daddy's girl and always loved me, and she loved me and cared for me. Remember that I love you? I said, like, nothing. She always said that to me, so it wasn't something awkward or different. I never thought unusual, but she ain't the type of person who would have done something like this. She always put her, first. I mean, she wouldn't put her. She always put anybody first before her, and caring, loving, Christian.
Yeah. This discrepancy isn't necessarily unusual in cases like this. Sometimes family members aren't aware of internal battles their loved ones are fighting. Sometimes people hide their pain incredibly well. And sometimes there are misunderstandings or different interpretations of someone's mental state. The truth is, we may never know what was truly going on in Camila's mind that morning unless she's found safe and can tell us herself. There's another element to this story that investigators are looking into. Camila had recently gone through a romantic breakup. Now, anyone who's been through a breakup, especially when you're young and your emotions feel like they're at maximum intensity, knows how devastating that can feel. Your first thought might be that this breakup is somehow connected to her disappearance. But here's what authorities have said about that. The breakup was mutual. Both parties agreed to end the relationship. And investigators have stated they don't suspect anything nefarious was involved with the ex-partner. They've looked into it, they've investigated that angle, and they don't believe it's connected to her disappearance. But breakups, even mutual ones, can still hurt. They can still leave you feeling lost, questioning your worth, wondering about your future. Could that emotional pain have contributed to whatever decision Camila made that morning? It's possible. Let's talk about the investigation itself, because this isn't just a local missing persons case anymore. This has escalated to involve multiple federal agencies. The FBI has joined the search. Think about that for a second. The Federal Bureau of Investigation doesn't get involved in every missing person case. Their involvement suggests that investigators believe there's a possibility Camila could have traveled across state lines, or that there are elements to this case that require federal resources and jurisdiction. But it goes even further than that. The United States Department of Homeland Security is now checking outbound flights and border crossings. They're looking at airports to see if anyone matching Camila's description boarded a plane. They're monitoring border checkpoints to see if she crossed into Mexico. San Antonio is only about 150 miles from the Mexican border, so it's not an unreasonable distance for someone to travel if they were trying to disappear or start over somewhere else. This level of response tells us that investigators are covering every possible scenario. They're not just assuming she's somewhere in the local area. They're considering the possibility that she could be anywhere, that she could have traveled far from home, either by her own choice or because someone took her. And that's absolutely terrifying for her family, because instead of being able to focus their search on a specific neighborhood or area, they now have to grapple with the reality that their daughter could be almost anywhere in the country, or even beyond. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office has been the lead agency on this case, and they've been working around the clock since that Christmas Eve morning. They've set up a dedicated tip line at 210-335-6000, and they've also established an email address specifically for this case at missingpersons@bexar.org. They're pleading with the public to come forward with any information, no matter how small or insignificant it might seem. That dashcam footage that came from someone who saw the news coverage and thought, hey, I was driving through that area that morning and my dashcam was recording. They didn't think it was important at first, but they came forward anyway, and now that footage is potentially the most significant piece of evidence.
If she's an experienced walker, like her dad says she is, why isn't she on the sidewalk where she's safer than being in the road? If I were walking, I would be on the sidewalk, because walking in the road when the sidewalk is available in some states is against the law. I'm not going to say every state, but in some states it's against the law.
In the entire case. This is what investigators mean when they say every tip matters. Maybe you saw someone matching Camila's description at a gas station. Maybe you noticed someone walking along the road that morning. Maybe you saw something that didn't quite feel right, but you dismissed it at the time. In cases like this, seemingly unimportant details can be the puzzle piece that cracks everything wide open. And this is where I want to talk to you directly, because you're watching this video, which means you care about cases like this. You care about finding missing people. You care about justice and truth. If you live in the San Antonio area, if you were anywhere near northwest Bexar County on the morning of December 24th, if you have dashcam footage from that day, please reach out to authorities. Check your footage. See if there's anything that could help. Now let's consider the various scenarios that investigators are likely exploring, because understanding all the possibilities helps us understand why this case is so complex. Scenario 1. Camila left voluntarily and is somewhere safe but hasn't contacted her family. This happens sometimes. People experiencing emotional distress, major life changes, or feeling overwhelmed by their circumstances decide they need to get away, to have space, to figure things out. They don't always realize how much pain their disappearance causes. Or sometimes they're so lost in their own struggles that they can't see beyond their immediate need to escape. If this is what happened, Camila could be staying with a friend, in a hotel, or somewhere else where she feels safe. The problem with this scenario is that she left without her phone, which makes it much harder for her to contact anyone even if she wanted to. Scenario 2. Camila left with the intention of harming herself. This is the scenario that keeps her family up at night, the one that makes every hour she's missing more urgent and terrifying. Given the statement from Sheriff Salazar about her history of suicidal ideation, investigators have to take this possibility seriously. They've likely been checking hospitals, reaching out to crisis centers, and searching areas where someone in distress.
So what is this? Is this supposed to be the shadow figure of a person off in the woods? I'm not, it's what it looks like to me, but I'm not sure. Because if you really look at it, you look at it close enough, it looks like there's a person right here, a person right here, and a person possibly over here. So there could be 3 people standing right here. I mean, you can see what you want to see in a shadowed out image like that.
Might go. The fact that she left without her phone could support this scenario, as people sometimes deliberately leave behind ways for others to contact or track them. Scenario 3. Camila encountered foul play. Maybe she went out for a walk to clear her head, and someone abducted her. Maybe she agreed to meet someone, and that person harmed her. This is why federal agencies are involved, why they're checking border crossings and flights, why they're treating this with such urgency. Human trafficking is a real threat, especially for young women. Opportunistic predators exist. And while we don't want to jump to conclusions or create unnecessary panic, it's a scenario that has to be investigated thoroughly. Scenario 4, and this is a possibility that combines elements of the others. Camila left voluntarily, but then encountered trouble. Maybe she was walking to meet a friend or to get some air, and something happened along the way. Maybe she accepted a ride from the wrong person. Maybe she had an accident that prevented her from getting home or contacting her family. This is why that dashcam footage showing her walking alone on Wild Horse Parkway is so important. It establishes that at least at that moment, she was alone and apparently okay, but what happened after that? As I'm researching and putting this story together for you, what strikes me most is the timing. Christmas Eve, a day when most people are with their families, when communities come together, when there's this collective feeling of anticipation and joy. But for the Mendoza Olmos family, that day will forever be marked by Camila's disappearance. Rosario, Camila's mother, can't celebrate. She can't enjoy Christmas dinner or exchange gifts or smile at holiday movies. How could she? Her daughter is out there somewhere, and every minute that passes without answers is agony. Her father, despite whatever disagreements there might be about Camila's mental health history, is united with the rest of the family in desperate hope and increasingly painful fear. The volunteers who have been searching, those 100+ people who gave up their own holiday time to help find a young woman many of them had never met, they represent the best of humanity. They're walking through neighborhoods in the cold. They're putting up flyers. They're sharing information on social media. They're doing everything they can to bring Camila home. But as days turn into almost a week now, with December 29th marking 5 days since she vanished, the statistics become harder to ignore. The first 48 hours in a missing person case are crucial. After that, the likelihood of a safe recovery begins to decrease. We're well past that window now. The fact that multiple agencies are now involved, that Homeland Security is checking border crossings, that the FBI has joined the search, all of this tells us that this case is being taken extremely seriously at the highest levels. But it also tells us that investigators truly don't know what happened. If they had a clear theory, if they believed they knew where she was or what scenario was most likely, the response would be more focused. Instead, they're casting the widest possible net, checking every possibility, because they can't afford to miss anything. And here's where we need to talk about something that often gets overlooked in true crime coverage: mental health. Whether or not Camila was struggling with suicidal thoughts, whether or not she had depression, these are real issues that real people face every day. If you're watching this and you're struggling, if you're feeling like the world would be better off without you, if you're thinking about harming yourself, please hear me when I say this: you matter. Your life has value. The pain you're feeling right now, as overwhelming as it is, it's not permanent. But the decision to end your life is. Please reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 988. Talk to someone. Let someone help you carry that weight. So where does that leave us with Camila's case? As of right now, December 29th, 2025, she has been missing for 5 days. She was last confirmed to be alive and walking on Wild Horse Parkway in northwest Bexar County around 7 in the morning on Christmas Eve. She was wearing a black North Face sweater with baby blue accents, baby blue shorts, and white shoes. She's 19 years old, 5'4", 110 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. She left her home without her phone, without her belongings, with only apparently her car key. Her family is desperate for answers. Law enforcement agencies at the local, state, and federal level are actively investigating, and the community continues to search and share her information. But the biggest question remains unanswered. Where is Camila Mendoza Olmos? Is she out there somewhere, safe but unable or unwilling to contact her family? Is she in danger, needing rescue? Did something terrible happen to her that morning or shortly after? The uncertainty is perhaps the cruelest part of cases like this, because without answers, her family can't grieve, they can't heal, they can't move forward. They're stuck in this horrific limbo of not knowing, and that not knowing eats away at you every single second of every single day. This case is still very much active and ongoing. Things could change tomorrow. Someone could come forward with information that breaks everything wide open. That dashcam footage could lead to more witnesses. Camila herself could walk through her front door. Or, and this is the outcome no one wants to consider but everyone fears, they could find evidence that tells a much darker story. We don't know yet. And that's why cases like this need attention, need people talking about them, need the public engaged and watching and remembering. Because somewhere out there, someone knows something. Someone saw something. Someone has a piece of information that could bring Camila home. Now I want you to really think about something. What makes a 19-year-old leave her home on Christmas Eve morning without telling anyone? What was going through Camila's mind as she walked away from her house, away from her family, away from the holiday celebration that should have been waiting for her? Was she running from something? Running toward something? Was she in such emotional pain that she couldn't see any other option? Or was there something else entirely, something we haven't even begun to understand, that pulled her away from safety and into the unknown? And here's another question that gets to the psychological complexity of cases like this. If Camila left voluntarily, if she's somewhere safe right now, what would it take for her to come home? What fear or pain or circumstance is strong enough to keep a young woman away from her family during the holidays, knowing they must be terrified and heartbroken? And if she's not able to come home on her own, if something is preventing her, whether that's a person, a situation, or her own mental state, how do we reach her? How do we let her know that people are looking, that people care, that there's help available? Comment your thoughts below. What do you think happened to Camila? Do you have theories about that morning? Have you been following this case? Share this video with anyone who needs to hear this story, anyone in the San Antonio area who might have information, anyone who cares about missing persons cases. Hit that like button, subscribe to One Crime at a Time, and turn on notifications so you stay updated as this case develops, because I'll be following every new piece of information and bringing it to you as it happens. If you found this case interesting, visit the channel.
Okay, so what do you think happened to Camila? Do you think that she actually did get a hold of a family member's firearm and self-harm? Or do you think it's possible that, I mean, the way the dad was talking and laughing and too much going on, you know, he could have been the family member that owned the firearm. We don't know. We don't know. But so yeah, maybe she was daddy's girl. Operative word there being was. Because maybe if she chose to go with mom in the divorce, who we don't know how long they've been divorced, if she chose to be with mom instead of dad, maybe dad wasn't happy about that. Maybe dad had the thought that if I can't have her, nobody can have her. We don't know how long mom and dad have been divorced. So, you know, there's a lot of things that could be speculated into this, but I'm not going to put false information out there because all I'm doing is asking questions. I don't know. I don't know this family. I wish I did. But to hear her friends talk that they didn't mention anything about her being in that state of mind. Her mom didn't mention anything about her being in that state of mind. We didn't hear much from the mom, really. Hello, H. Davis. How are you doing? Do you have big plans for bringing in the new year? I am just about my granddaughter's new pendant for her keychain come in. Says it's a wrestling thing you wouldn't understand. So I have to get that ready to mail off the day after tomorrow. You don't. Well, hopefully my husband will get to come home tonight. He was in Kansas City this morning getting his truck worked on. And we haven't seen him since just after Thanksgiving. So you would understand if Camila had felt the need to self-harm. Is that what you're talking about? Catch you later. Okay. All right. All right, H. Davis. Thank you for popping in here. I appreciate it. You have a happy new year and be safe, and I will see you next year. Sorry, tomorrow, hopefully. If I put a live together with my husband being home. He don't like me doing that kind of stuff because he'd rather me spend my time with him. But, you know, I can understand that. But I don't know. I'll probably be here. I got to do 2. Oh, what you said about wrestling. You wrestle? My granddaughter wrestles. And I made her a keychain for Christmas that had all of her high school activities, her cheerleading, her weightlifting, her wrestling. Well, that's her wrestling pin. I haven't got her weightlifting one in yet. I'm still waiting on it to get here. She ran track and field. She ran cross country. She was a cheerleader. She played the clarinet or the alto or bass clarinet. Something like. She has like 10 little charms on her key ring. And so this is her wrestling one, and I gotta get it sent to her mama. So we made one for all my granddaughters. The customized key ring for my oldest granddaughter didn't come in because I didn't order it, because I didn't know what her main thing in high school was. So But I found out it was cheerleading, so I can order her a cheerleading one as well, with their name on it, and it's a key ring for them to be able to. It's much less expensive than trying to buy Letterman's jackets with all those charms on them, all those little patches and stuff. So, alrighty. Thank you for being here. Do something nice for someone, even if it's be the reason they smile. Please have a happy and safe new year, and search for crime. I'll see you tomorrow.